जय गुरुजी। गुरुजी महाराज के चरणों में सादर प्रणाम। संगत जी, we are very blessed to have been reading His blessed divine Granth, the Light of Divinity. And to continue the reading, today the satsang we will be reading is titled Seeing with the Eyes of Faith. My obeisance to the lotus feet of Sri Guruji. I wish to express my deep reverence and gratitude to Guruji for all the wonders that he has brought in our lives. We are truly blessed, for we have been taken into Guruji's fold. He is God incarnate, an embodiment of Lord Shiva, and at the same time an extremely human, approachable, understanding, supreme power who guides you to the right path, urging you to rise above ritualism and orthodoxy. He has given a different meaning to our lives, our interpretation of religion and faith. Everything has been simplified beyond measure. Blessed was the day when we first met in Guruji and we came to Guruji's Sharan. The first time my father had been to him, he had asked for us. He knew where my husband was posted and that our daughter Aditi had a problem, the rubella syndrome. This was in April of 1995. I was delighted. I was contracted, sorry Sangaji, I had contracted German measles in my first trimester. Consequently, Aditi was born with multiple problems that resulted in visual impairment because of the congenital cataract, microphthalmos, microcornea, nystagmus, and glaucoma. During her first 2 years, she underwent 5 eye surgeries, 3 for removal of the cataract, 2 because of glaucoma. In spite of all these interventions, her gross vision improved very slightly. All the time, the doctors at the AIMS painted a very bleak picture. Since her retina had been damaged, they felt there was a little hope she would regain vision to a large extent. Besides her gross visual abnormalities, her PDA, a duct outside the heart, had not closed. That was corrected surgically in her third year. All her developmental milestones had been delayed. After much physiotherapy, she started walking at 3 and we began sending her to school. Psychological testing had shown her IQ to be between 70 to 79. The psychologist concluded she had to be put under the care of a special educator in a slow learners section. Things changed dramatically after we came under Guruji's protection. Aditi was then 12 years old and still at a special section of Sadhu Vaswani school. After receiving Guruji's Adesh, his word or command, through my father, we promptly went to the mandir at Greater Kailash, New Delhi. It was a novel experience. We had never seen such a flashy, flamboyant Guru. Guruji kept asking us to come back on specific days. On our fifth visit, he asked Aditi to start doing Surya Namaskar early in the mornings and have a glass of milk mixed with peanuts and mishri that he had specially blessed. She was to follow the instructions for 51 days. On the 21st day, she said she could see better. We were ecstatic. She could not imagine what joy and comfort this provided to our anguished souls. Soon Guruji left for Chandigarh, where he remained for the next 3 years. Twice we went to ask him to do something more for our daughter. He told us that he would do so after he returned to Delhi. On the Bisakhi day in 1998, I was thrilled beyond measure. Guruji was on the phone. He asked us to come to the mandir at Sultanpur. Empire State is in this locality. In the evening. Thereafter, I started urging him to do something more for Aditi. He did, in his own fashion. Guruji first came to our home in June 1998. The very next morning, we were excited no end. Aditi could overnight read fine newspaper print. She could read her class 10 textbooks, which with their abdominal small print, which only a week ago she could not. In this, if this is not divine intervention, what is? This miracle could have been wrought only by Guruji himself. Since then, there has been no turning back. All of Aditi's biological parameters have picked up. She cleared her class 10 and 11 and 12 in the first division, and also in her first year of BA in social work, she is now continuing her graduate studies. She could not have imagined 13 years ago that she would achieve all this. With Guruji's divine blessings, Aditi has become a long way. Not only has her vision, both distant and close, picked up, but her learning power has also increased tremendously. This is frequent improvement. There is frequent improvement in her vision. At her at an eye test last year, that is 2006, we found she could read one more line in the eye testing chart. Aditi is now a confident youngster with supreme faith in Guruji. All this has meant a lot for us. From constant worry, anguish, and brooding about her future, I have shed all my fears and am convinced that He will take care of her. I am now more at peace with the world that have stopped asking, why me? Why with my first child? Guruji has not only changed our life but also given us the courage and strength to face problems more bravely. Faith in Him has led us to trust that He is looking after our affairs and that nothing can go wrong. Cheating death thrice. Guruji's blessings have extended to the rest of the family also. He has saved my husband's life thrice from fatal mishaps. Once in a head-on collision with an Ashok Leyland truck, which left his taxi so battered that those who saw it presumed that the passengers inside must have been killed. Moments before the accident, he had dozed off, yet came out unscathed and only a chipped tooth and a couple of stitches near his eyebrow and upper chin. Interestingly, he had offered holy water and an elaborate puja at a Shiva mandir in Warangal before starting on this tour, something which he normally does not do, especially on official tours. But then, don't we say Guruji is Shivji? Then, on December 13th, 2001, when terrorists attacked Parliament House, my husband was the last one to get safely in the nick of time. Seconds after he entered the building, shots rang out, and the guard who had ushered him in was shot dead. Guruji was surely looking after my husband. The third narrow encounter was with a leopard on the Srinagar golf course. My husband had foolishly decided to take a walk after dark. Around a bend, he thought he saw a dog just a few feet away. Surprised, he wondered how a dog could have got inside the heavily guarded golf course. Suddenly, the animal seemed to take a keen interest in him and advanced towards him. To his horror, he realized that it was a full grown leopard swishing his tail. It was, he was rooted to the spot. He was rooted to the spot. Unbelievably, he merely shooed it away, and the leopard obeyed. Inexplicably, the leopard did not follow my husband when he tried to walk away. Another sure case of Guruji's intervention. Guruji has guarded not only his life but his career too. It was only because of his blessings that my husband got his promotion and posting. In spite of an impeccable record, the odds were against him. But for Guruji, he would not have been empaneled as secretary or got a prestigious posting in Srinagar before coming back to Delhi. In 1997, my son, who was riding pillion on a motorbike without a helmet, was knocked down by a speeding car. Anything could have happened, from a whiplash injury to the paralytic fate of Christopher Reeves or worse. Miraculously, he had no major injury. Guruji had come to our rescue. When my son was fit enough, we went to Guruji, who told him he had given him a new life. Betel leaves cure bronchial spasm. I have also been not excluded from his blessings. From 20 years, I had been suffering from asthmatic attacks and was often put on steroids. I was always asking Guruji to bless my children but never mentioned my problem. 3 years ago, I suddenly realized that the acute bronchial spasms had disappeared. Guruji told me that he had taken me off steroids, which is true because I have not needed them ever since. Also, for 3 consecutive summers, I would get low grade fever, which persisted for 6 months and left me drained. The blood test showed a high count of indicative of either cancer or TB. Doctor suggested all kinds of tests. My husband mentioned the health problem to Guruji, who asked me to put betel leaves that he had blessed on my head every night and sleep. Within days, my fever disappeared, never to reoccur. Dream Darshans. I can go on endlessly about Guruji's blessings on my family. He had cured both my parents of cancer. My father had gone to him in 1995 after his cancer surgery. In this case, cancer had not reoccurred, but while there have been several unfortunate cases in my family, my mother did not require chemotherapy after her surgery, during which she recalls she felt Guruji holding her hand throughout. During the darshan, Guruji had even given her a pink and gold sari to wear. Guruji had often given us darshan through our dreams. Once my son Ashutosh dreamt that when we were visiting him, Guruji had asked us to come along to Bari Mandir. But when Guruji did not come, we had instead come home. Guruji rang up Ashutosh on his mobile and asked him why he had not gone to Mandir. Then he told him that he would show him something. What followed were divine darshans. We saw a huge figure in our own lawn moving away from him, wondering who it was. It was the Jata, matted locks, and Trishul, trident of Shivji. The figure turned towards him. Shivji transformed into Hanumanji and then Ganeshji. Our son is truly blessed. I cannot express my deep gratitude and the indebtedness for what Guruji has done for us. He took on from the point where the medical world had proved that there was nothing more that they could have done for Aditi. That her vision became better thereafter cannot be interpreted as anything less than his divine intervention. Words cannot express the greatness of Guruji. He has transformed our lives, empowered and rejuvenated us with his faith, made us more tolerant of people around us, taught us to accept circumstances, and given us courage and strength to face life. He gives us abundance and asks for little in return, only complete, unquestioning faith. Our lives have acquired a different meaning. He has given us a lot of hope and the gift and capacity to move on. He's helped us to evolve into better human beings. I truly believe he is the living incarnation of the supreme power. Call him what you will, Shivji, Krishnji, or Guru Nanak ji, all rolled into one. All these miracles in our lives could have been the work of ultimate divine power. I beg to be allowed to remain in His Sharan forever. Blessed are those devotees who selflessly serve Him. In His family, all those who come under His umbrella are treated alike. He teaches you true humility by sharing your experiences, your joys, your sorrows, just as a family would, a true microcosm within the macrosm. There is no such there is so much of Guruji that is still left unsaid, from his imitable style of putting me down in my place with Mangana kar, don't ask, or यूं ही तुरदी फिरदी है पता है कुल पंडितां सॉरी संगत जी यूं ही टुरदी फिरदी है पंडितां दे कोल you just keep going to pundits for no rhyme or reason, to his enigmatic divine smile or his tangible palpable presence in the house experienced through a whiff of his fragrance, or the ohms that suddenly appeared on his forehead in a couple of his calendars we had in the house, and by hundreds on the floor, so much so that we did not know where to put our feet. When I narrated this to him, he said, Dekhi chal, see what happens next. Once the water in the copper tumbler blessed by him tasted of Amrit, divine nectar he had given us earlier. The next thing about Guruji is that he is so approachable. There has never been a time when we had been sick with worry that he would not turn his attention towards us or relieved us of it. It makes me conclude that there is no need to even voice one's apprehensions. May we be allowed to remain in his care forever. Shukrana Guruji. Ben Shukrana. Sangaji, this is Satsang of Lalit Mathur uncle. While reading the satsang, I must have made a lot of mistakes, so I seek forgiveness with folded hands from Guruji and all of you. Jai Guruji.